Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel where we learn together, take action together, and reflect together. My name is Tamira and thank you so much for being here. This is episode 2 of the Memphis-Shelby County Schools Superintendent Evaluation Series. In this series, I break down the district's process for evaluating Dr. Feagins and offer insights into her performance so far. Today, we're diving into the evaluation competency community relations. If you haven't seen episode 1 yet, where I set the stage for the entire evaluation process and explain what's at stake, be sure to check it out first because it'll give you the foundation and the context that you need. So here's what's on the agenda for today. First, I am going to explain what community relations means and why it is crucial to our district's success. Then, I'll guide you through the key criteria typically used to assess a superintendent's effectiveness in this area and how we can measure success. Finally, we'll examine some of Dr. Feagins' actions as superintendent and discuss how those efforts reflect the progress that she is making in community relations. If you want to deepen your understanding of community relations and the work Superintendent Feagins is doing in this area, then hop in the car and let's ride. Okay, so before we dive in, I want to give you some quick updates. The first update is about the evaluation process. The evaluation committee recently had its first meeting to outline the process for evaluating the superintendent, which was facilitated by Tamika Hart-Wigington. If you've been following along, you'll remember Tamika from the board retreats during the superintendent search. She played a pivotal role in shaping the process and getting us to this point. And so it's great to see her bringing her expertise and guidance to the table again. During this committee meeting, the board decided to keep the current evaluation instrument, which I'll be breaking down throughout this series. The evaluation process needs to be finalized by October 25th. And so the next evaluation planning meeting is going to be September 30th at 1 p.m. As always, I'll do my best to keep you in the loop with any updates. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my newsletter, which is linked below in the description box. The second update is the Daily Memphian has obtained letters from two former school board commissioners, Althea Green and Mauricio Calvo. In these letters, both commissioners expressed serious concerns about Dr. Feagins' leadership. Commissioner Green stated that hiring Dr. Feagins was a mistake, citing her as the least qualified candidate for the position. Commissioner Calvo raised issues about Dr. Feagins' inability to communicate effectively and collaborate with the board, adding that her leadership has fostered a climate of fear. These letters contain some significant and bold claims, y'all, but I'm not going to go deeply into the content of the letters in this video. However, we will take a closer look when we discuss governance and board relations in an upcoming episode. So stay tuned for that and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. The final update I have for you is if you are looking for comprehensive notes and insights from the school board meetings, then sign up for my newsletter, which is linked in the description box below, and I'll send you my notes after every board meeting. You can also go directly to my website and review my notes, which is also linked in the description box below. All right, y'all, so let's get into community relations. Community relations refers to an organization's ongoing efforts to build and maintain positive, transparent, and mutually beneficial relationships with the communities it serves. For a school district, this means engaging parents, students, local organizations, community leaders, media, and other stakeholders to foster open communication, collaboration, and trust. Effective community relations ensure that the community's voices are heard and considered in decision making. And so, what does it mean for the district when a superintendent has strong community relations? It means increased support for district initiatives, improved educational outcomes, and stronger partnerships that benefit the school system and the community. So now let's take a look at the criteria typically used to evaluate a superintendent's effectiveness in community relations. A superintendent who excels in this area demonstrates effectiveness as a spokesperson, clearly communicating the district's mission, goals, and initiatives in a way that resonates with the community and inspires trust. A superintendent who excels in this area demonstrates a commitment to community input, creating genuine opportunities for feedback and ensuring community involvement in decision making. A superintendent who excels in this area demonstrates consistent visibility at district and community events, making themselves approachable and engaged. They demonstrate responsiveness to media inquiries, managing relations with the media by providing timely and accurate information. They demonstrate strong crisis management skills, effectively preparing for and handling unexpected events with transparency and clear communication. And finally, a superintendent who excels in this area demonstrates effective relationships with county and state policymakers, collaborating with officials to advocate for district needs at the local and state levels. So how can we measure Dr. Feagins' success in these areas? Let's start with her role as an effective spokesperson for the district. One way to assess this is by reviewing her media presence. How often is she mentioned in the media, and what is the tone of that coverage? We can look at her public statements for clarity and consistency. We can measure social media engagement using metrics like follower growth, likes, comments, and shares. Under Dr. Feagins' leadership, the district's social media engagement has significantly increased, signaling a strong connection with the community via social media platforms. Dr. Feagins is articulate and confident in public forums like board meetings and press conferences. Her interviews, like those with Mayor Paul Young, the New Memphis Institute, and the Daily Memphian, were strong, demonstrating clarity in communication. From what I've seen regarding media coverage, the tone ranges from supportive and cautiously optimistic to critical. It just depends on who you are listening to and what they are discussing. What do you think about Dr. Feagins' effectiveness as a spokesperson? What else should we consider? And more importantly, how do we measure and what metrics are we using? Regarding seeking community input, Dr. Feagins has hosted several events such as barbershop talks, mission and vision meetings, huddles with community partners, VIP tours, and budget community engagement meetings, just to name a few. In addition to measuring the number of events she hosts, we can also measure attendance and engagement. It doesn't matter if she's hosting community meetings if people aren't showing up and participating. I recently attended a community huddle in my district, which was engaging and interactive. The staff was welcoming and pleasant, and Dr. Feagins presented updates and answered everyone's questions. The last I heard, over 6,000 people attended the first round of VIP tours, which is a great sign. Another thing to consider is how much of the community input gathered at these meetings is actually being considered when decisions are made. Visibility is another important factor. Dr. Feagins has made appearances at numerous events. I think gathering testimonials and feedback from the community that attend these events can give us deeper insights into how approachable and engaging she is. Next, we move to media responsiveness. This is about how quickly, accurately, and effectively the district responds to inquiries, reports, questions, or requests from the media. It includes providing timely information, clarifying any issues or misunderstandings, and ensuring clear, consistent, and transparent communication with journalists and media outlets. At a recent board meeting, Commissioner Hewitt Garcia inquired about the district's regular communication with the media, asking whether the district maintains relationships with journalists and how frequently they update them. The district explained that they have a master list of media contacts and responds to questions via email, taking time to ensure accuracy before releasing information. A local journalist I follow often shares how she will sometimes request information from the district, but either never gets it or it takes a significant amount of time before she receives it. The district has stated that they do not currently hold regular press briefings with the local media, and I wonder why, because they do hold regular press briefings with the district's student media. And might I add, those students do an excellent job asking questions of Dr. Feagins and her team. There was a press briefing with the local media after the district-wide school lockdown, but that was in response to a crisis. Another local reporter stated that the media did not receive notice about the press conference until 7 minutes before it started. So now let's move on to crisis management. This is about effectively preparing for and handling unexpected events with transparency and clear communication. The district's response to recent incidents like a district-wide lockdown and severe weather dismissals demonstrates that this is an area of growth for the superintendent and her team. Miscommunication, lack of communication, late communication, whatever the challenge, led to frustration from parents and families. Regarding the weather-related early dismissals, parents learned at the last minute that schools would begin dismissing early, leaving parents and families with little time to make arrangements to pick up their students. This reportedly led to internal tensions within the communications team. According to Fox 13, multiple Memphis-Shelby County Schools board members confirmed receiving a letter from the communications and broadcast department expressing frustration with Superintendent Dr. Feagins. Yes, another letter was sent to the media. The people are sending all the letters this week, okay? Anyway, I'm not going to go into specifics of the letter that was sent by the communications team, but I will note that John Best, the district's communications manager, addressed the situation live on 88.5, which is the district's radio station. John Best stated that he's uncertain who sent the letter, but he emphasized that it does not reflect the views of the entire communications team. And he said that 75% of the claims made in that letter were false. And he believes that the team remains committed and works hard to share the district's story effectively. Regarding the district-wide lockdown, it was reported that 60,000 families did not receive the district's emergency messages during the school lockdown. Feagins suggested that Final Sight, the company responsible for the messaging system, did not deliver messages to the families. However, Final Sight pushed back, indicating that outdated contact information from the district was the root cause. It's still unclear what the challenge was, but the district did acknowledge the need to improve how it receives and organizes information in a timely manner, including media relations, incident reports, and district events. Following the district-wide lockdown, Dr. Feagins went live on Facebook to update the community, and she promised to going live more often to have conversations with the community and to provide more informal updates. The community response to this live was supportive and positive, and Feagins acknowledged that the community wants to hear directly from her, and she shared that she wants to be informed by the community so that good decisions can be made collectively. Feagins highlighted the importance of crisis management training for administration, teachers, school resource officers, counselors, and staff to ensure everyone knows how to handle a crisis effectively. Commissioner Coleman suggested that the board could assist with communications, proposing public service announcements or radio appearances to support outreach, which has been done over the last week or so. We've seen former and new board members go on to the district's radio station and talk about their vision and their goals. Commissioner Love and Commissioner Coleman also noted that the new communications director, Jermaine Johnson, had not met with the board yet. At the time, Director Johnson, who had been in the role for 1 month, explained that while the board is a priority, they are intimidating, and he wanted to become more familiar with them before reaching out. And he promised that communication would improve. And so what are your thoughts about Dr. Feagins' progress in the area of crisis management? How should we measure her effectiveness in this area, and what should be considered when determining the metrics? Finally, when it comes to building relationships with policymakers, we can track the superintendent's number of meetings with local, state, and federal policymakers. These can include formal meetings, informal conversations, or participation in public forums. We can measure the superintendent's ability to advocate for district needs and whether those efforts result in policy changes or funding allocations. For instance, has the superintendent successfully influenced policies that align with the district's priorities, such as securing additional funding or legislative support for education initiatives? We can evaluate the strength of partnerships between the district and government bodies like the county commission and the city council. This includes joint initiatives, collaborations with local officials, or working with agencies to support district goals. Dr. Feagins has made some efforts in this area. She's partnered with Memphis Mayor Paul Young on funding initiatives and has stated that her team works closely with lobbyists. A joint press conference with Police Director C.J. Davis and Sheriff Bonner on the issue of arming teachers was a strong example of collaboration. And so tracking these partnerships and endorsements from local and state officials will provide a clearer picture of her effectiveness in this area. Take a look at the community relations goals Dr. Feagins outlined in the budget. For those of you listening, you can probably find them. I think it's on page 120 of the budget, or maybe a few pages after. But from what I understand, these goals may have been a part of Dr. Feagins' 100-day plan, though it's unclear if they were developed in collaboration with the board. These goals are not measurable, which makes it challenging to track progress effectively. Additionally, there is no mention of crisis management, which is a critical component that I believe the board should consider including as they finalize the superintendent evaluation process. And so I'm looking forward to seeing measurable goals in the strategic plan and as part of the evaluation process that addresses the needs in community relations. And that's all I got for now, y'all. I'd love to hear your thoughts about how you feel regarding Dr. Feagins' performance in the area of community relations. What would you like to see as a part of the strategic plan and the evaluation process related to community relations? I really would love to hear from my media friends. I don't have a background in media or community relations, and so if you have any additional insights to add, please share them with me. You can drop a comment, you can send me a DM. I also welcome you all to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can continue to be updated on what's happening in the district. Thank y'all so much for riding with me today. Keep learning, keep taking action, and keep reflecting. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye.